The world's most powerful people thought these files would never see the light of day. They were wrong. Millions of pages, years of secrets. Now, the Epstein files are out. Millions of pages released. And the fallout is destroying careers, reputations, and entire legacies. The fallout begins. Resignations, criminal investigations, lives shattered overnight. Who's next to fall? In this video, we break down every major figure facing serious consequences and you decide if justice is being served. 14 powerful people, one scandal. Let's start with the most explosive case, a criminal one. Norway's former Prime Minister, Torbjørn Jagland. Jagland has been formally charged with aggravated corruption, and he could face up to 10 years in prison. Investigators searched his home and 2 other properties, digging into gifts, travel, and loans he allegedly received. This is the first time since World War II that a former Norwegian PM has faced criminal charges. In 2012, after Epstein had already pleaded guilty to soliciting a minor. Jagland wrote to him calling him a fabulous person. Another message references visiting the Caribbean with Epstein and mentions, quote, extraordinary girls. In 2018, just 1 year before Epstein's arrest, Jagland's family reportedly stayed at Epstein's properties, paid for on Epstein's credit card. Epstein allegedly wanted Jagland to arrange a meeting with Vladimir Putin. Jagland denies all wrongdoing. Thomas Pritzker held the chairman's seat at Hyatt Hotels for 20 years. That seat is now empty. In 2018, the year before Epstein's federal arrest, Pritzker was emailing him from Afghanistan, talking about spending time with General Petraeus. When Epstein's associates said she was trying to find Epstein a new girlfriend, Pritzker replied with a smiley face, "May the force be with you." Epstein even asked Pritzker to arrange a lunch between the Dalai Lama and Woody Allen. Pritzker declined. Pritzker resigned and admitted, quote, I exercised terrible judgment in maintaining contact with them, and there is no excuse. Sultan Ahmed bin Sulaim was CEO of DP World, Dubai's largest port operator. He resigned in the wake of these revelations. Epstein called bin Sulaim one of my most trusted friends, and the messages between them quickly became explicit. Their messages included sexually explicit content, discussions of women, business dealings, and meetings with world leaders. Investigators have linked bin Sulaim to a so-called torture video referenced in Epstein's messages, the nature of which remains unclear. Most alarmingly, bin Sulaim allegedly helped arrange for one of Epstein's masseuses to receive training, a deeply concerning connection given how Epstein used massages to abuse victims. Brad Karp resigned as chairman of Paul Weiss, one of the most powerful law firms in the world, after emails showed him thanking Epstein for a once-in-a-lifetime evening. Yale professor David Galanter was banned from teaching and is under university investigation after recommending a good-looking blonde Yale student to Epstein. Mona Jewel, Norwegian ambassador, resigned after it emerged she was written into Epstein's will. Miroslav Lajčák, Slovakia's national security advisor and former UN General Assembly president, resigned after messages with Epstein emerged. David Ross, chair of New York School of Visual Arts, resigned after allegedly calling Epstein incredible in the context of an exhibit featuring minor boys. Joanna Rubinstein, chair of Sweden for the UN Refugee Agency, resigned after documents revealed a family visit to Epstein's private island in 2012. Larry Summers, former Harvard president and OpenAI board member, is stepping away from both roles. Flight records reportedly place him on Epstein's plane multiple times. Peter Asha, anti-aging influencer and CBS News contributor, was mentioned nearly 2,000 times in the Epstein files. He wrote to Epstein, "The life you lead is so outrageous, and yet I can't tell a soul." The NFL is investigating Steve Tisch, co-owner of the New York Giants, named 400+ times in the files. Messages show Epstein arranging meetings with women and telling Tisch, "Go slow, she's a little freaked by the age difference." Prince Andrew, stripped of his royal titles, is now under investigation in the UK. The infamous photo of him at a party and his relationship with Epstein remain at the center of it all. And perhaps most disturbing, the investor Leon Black faces dark and verified allegations in the files involving rape claims at Epstein's townhouse. These are allegations, not charges, but they are deeply serious. In the tangled web surrounding Jeffrey Epstein, some names have surfaced that might surprise you, revealing just how far his influence reached into the corridors of power and high society. Today, we're looking at three such individuals: Catherine Rumler, Casey Wasserman, and Peter Mandelson. Let's start with Catherine Rumler. Back in 2008, when Epstein was facing charges in Florida, Rumler was a principal associate deputy attorney general, according to reports. She was involved in discussions about Epstein's controversial non-prosecution agreement. This deal, widely criticized for being too lenient, allowed Epstein to plead guilty to lesser state charges and avoid a federal trial. The question remains, what was the extent of her involvement? And why was such a deal considered in the first place? Her connection highlights the legal and political mechanisms that were at play, shielding Epstein from more severe consequences early on. Next, we have Casey Wasserman, a major player in the sports and entertainment world. The grandson of Hollywood mogul Lou Wasserman, Casey's name appeared in Epstein's infamous Black Book. Play blogs also show that Wasserman flew on Epstein's private jet multiple times, including a trip to Paris. While Wasserman has stated that he regrets his association with Epstein and was unaware of his criminal activities, his presence on those flight manifests raises serious questions about the nature of their relationship. What business, if any, did a sports and entertainment executive have with a disgraced financier? Their connection demonstrates how Epstein used his wealth and connections to embed himself within the entertainment elite. Finally, there's Peter Mandelson, a prominent figure in British politics, known as a key architect of the new Labour Party. Mandelson's ties to Epstein date back years. He was a guest at Epstein's parties and reportedly stayed at his New York townhouse. Mandelson has since expressed his deep regret, claiming he was completely deceived by Epstein. However, their association has been a source of significant controversy in the UK, with critics questioning the judgment of a senior politician who maintained a friendship with such a notorious individual. This connection illustrates Epstein's international reach and his ability to cultivate relationships with influential political figures across the globe. These three examples, Rumler, Wasserman, and Mandelson, are just a fraction of the powerful people connected to Epstein. Each story adds another piece to the puzzle, showing how his network spanned law, entertainment, and politics. It underscores the uncomfortable reality that Epstein's influence was not confined to a small circle but was a sprawling network that enabled his actions for far too long. Understanding these connections is crucial if we hope to uncover the full truth. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into stories that matter.